Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Connie. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Right now we are working in the kitchen, and that is what today's video is all about. All about cleaning and organizing and doing inventory of the refrigerator, freezer, and pantry. That is what we're working on right now. We are also deep cleaning the refrigerator inside and out. Right now, I am putting aluminum foil in my containers so they're much easier to clean the next time I go to do a clean on my refrigerator or in my refrigerator. So if you like this kind of video, make sure that you stay tuned. I'm sure there is a lot of motivation in here for you to get into that kitchen and start getting it deep cleaned and organized. Okay, we have our inventory done of the refrigerator and the freezer. Now it's time to get this refrigerator all cleaned up. Okay, this is why I like to clean my refrigerator out. Do a deep clean. And this tells you how long I have probably deep cleaned this. I've had this in there forever. I didn't even realize it was up there. And it was up in this little area up there. So you never know what you're going to find when you clean out your refrigerator. Okay, all this is what I found up in that little cubby, and including butter. I don't know how long that's been up there. And this, and you could tell that's no good. So, and we haven't had Taco Bell in at least a year. So that tells you how old that stuff is. It was hidden up in that little cubby. So this is why it's important to clean out your refrigerator. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is wipe out the sides here. And they get pretty nasty in there as well. As you can see, I do have a thing in there, a shelf liner, that helps that one. But some of these are really gross, so I'm just going to go ahead and put aluminum foil in there to help protect those, to keep that clean, since this is the only liner I have. Y'all, it's all cleaned out. As you can see, so much better, much more organized. Grocery shopping is this week, My husband and I took inventory of everything in the freezer and the refrigerator, and then I cleaned them out. That way we know what to pick up this week for groceries. The side is cleaned out. I added the aluminum foil in there to help keep it cleaner. And I wiped down the bottoms of all the jars and everything. If you're gonna go ahead and clean out your refrigerator, might as well wipe everything down. And I did find a science experiment, as you can see, that's been in there quite some time. I also found a gross dead fly inside over here. So if that's not inspiration to get you guys clean up and cleaning your refrigerator, I don't know what is. Let me know the grossest thing that you have ever found in your refrigerator when you've cleaned it. Okay, here I'm hanging up my inventory sheets that we took of the refrigerator and freezer. That way, when I use something, I can just mark it off and then I will add it to the grocery shopping list. That way I know exactly what I have in those and what I need to pick up the next time I grocery shop. Alright, the next thing we are going to do is I picked up these spice jars from the thrift store the other day for $6, and I washed them and everything, and I just realized that they don't have their little shaker tops to them. I knew it was used. It come in a box. They're in good condition still. They have their lids, but there's no shaker things. So I'm going to use them anyways, and we're going to make this work. It's missing half the stickers that I need, but I will make my own. We're going to make this work. So I'm going to go ahead and change these out into these jars because the drawer that I keep my spices in, these are a little too big in there. So these spice jars we're going to have to do. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Okay, this last one I am doing low carb keto cinnamon sugar for when I want cinnamon sugar on my toast or something like that. So I'm just using keto sugar, and I'm going to add some cinnamon in there as well. That way I have it ready to go. I don't like that they don't have their little lid things on there, but I will just make it work. There we go. Wrong lid. Alright, so I'm just gonna shake that up, and then I will have cinnamon sugar ready to go for when I want French toast or just toast in the morning on my keto bread. See if they fit in here. Yep. That way they fit in there so much better. Because the big ones were getting caught on the drawer is not deep at all. And I have these acrylic things in here from the Dollar Tree. So that's what I'm using. Just to boost them up a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay, my husband has been sick since pretty much New Year's Eve, right before New Year's Eve. He was getting better, and then he started getting bad again. So we ended up taking him to the clinic the other day, and he ended up having bronchitis and pneumonia. We think it started out with the flu, and then turned into bronchitis, which turned into pneumonia. So they have him on all these meds. He has them all up here. I have to keep them out so he'll remember to take them. If I put them away, he won't. So I'm just going to put them in here so they're nice and organized. Then he's got an inhaler. They put him on all these different meds. So, but he is feeling better now. So, thank goodness. And we're just going to stick that right there for him. I don't really think he needs this. He knows how to take it. So, I'll ask him. Alright, and then when you are sick, I suggest this for electrolytes, Liquid IV. It works really good. Actually, it's very expensive. If you are doing keto or low carb, they suggest staying very hydrated when you're doing that, when you're first starting out, and drink a lot of liquids, and this helps with that too. So here's a tip. It tells you on the package, some of you may already know this, but I did not. Don't follow the package directions because it tells you to put this in a whole thing of water. Only use part of it, because otherwise you're going to get, it's nasty. So just use, maybe a little bit. If you have a bottle of water, just put a little bit in there. And it tastes much better. And then I've also used this since buying it. I've used it myself just to make sure that I'm hydrated. And I'll put a little bit in a water bottle, and then I will also add like a flavoring to it. This says it's firecracker flavored. It's not really. I don't know where they get that because it doesn't taste like a firecracker. But I'll put like a sugar-free cherry or something. The flavoring packets, there it is. I'll put a little bit of this in the water, 8-ounce bottle of water with a flavor packet. And that helps too. So, yep. Liquid IV. Keeps you hydrated. Okay, another tip is I've been taking elderberry since my husband's been sick, and I have not gotten sick. This has no taste to it. I just put a drop of this in a bottle of water, and I drink it that way. You can drink it up to 2 times a day, and I have not gotten sick. Not even a cold, knock on wood. So I have to say, I think this stuff is working. Okay, we are on day 2 because I ran out of time last night. So this is day 2 and we are working on the pantry. Rather than writing down everything I have in the pantry, I'm just going to clean it out, wipe it down, and then reorganize it. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, let me explain. The way I'm organizing this is I'm putting like canned fruits, beans, and then vegetables over here on that row. I do know that I need to pick up more soups because my husband went through a lot of soup while he was sick, so I know that is a good thing to have on hand, especially during flu season. Looks like the only soups we have left is tomato soup. And then I use cream of chicken for cooking. So I will add soups to the list. And as I am going through cleaning, I will be making a list and adding things onto that list. These are tomato sauces and diced tomatoes. And then we have chicken breast and definitely tuna. Eat a lot of tuna around here. So these 2 are the newest, so I'll put those in front. But that's how I organize that. And then I will add soup to my list. So just with what I have in here, I know I can make chicken and noodle for my husband with the cream of chicken, like my mom used to make. He can have sloppy joes because we have a can of sloppy joe sauce. I have 1 can of beef broth. I know that I need to at least pick up another one of those and 2 chicken broths. So I will add that to my list. And just because I'm adding them to my list right now does not mean I'm going to get them when I go grocery shopping. This is something I know that I'm going to need in the future. So before I go grocery shopping, I will make a meal plan for the next 2 weeks. Then I will only pick up the things that I will need for that meal plan. And then whatever is not on this list that I don't get, say I don't get the extra beef broth or the chicken broth, I will move that over to the next week's list because I'll know I did not pick it up that week. If that makes any sense at all. All right, and then baked beans, that's plenty. And then we have baked beans for my husband because these have sugar in them. And then we have a couple of cans of butter beans that I can do something with. And then he likes the sliced peaches and pears and things like that. And then we do have a couple of vegetables. So I know I can make tuna patties. I can make tuna salad sandwiches. I have plenty of tuna. The chicken breast I will use to make pizza, a keto pizza using chicken breast. If you guys have never tried that, it's so good. So good. If you're interested in seeing how I make that, let me know down in the comments below, and I will make that one night for you. And then, okay, so that is organized. The next shelf we're going to work on is the second shelf. Okay, this is what I call my keto shelf. These two shelves, this shelf and the one below it, which you can't see at this point, are my keto shelves. So this is my baking stuff. So I'm gonna pull all this out of here and we'll get this cleaned up. Okay, in this container I keep all my nuts. I like having nuts around. Except for this bag, which that's even more nuts. It's a good snack. So this tells me I don't need to buy nuts for quite a while because this whole container is filled with nuts and then that's filled with nuts. So I am stocked up on that for quite some time. Plus I found another little bag. What I'll do is I'll make little bags like this. I haven't done it in a while. I need to get back into that. I make little bags like this and take them with me when I'm going somewhere. Or if I'm working out in my garden for the day, I'll take some nuts out there to munch on. That way I'm not grabbing junk. Okay, in this container I have my cacao powder and I have some flax meal. And then I am going to put in some of my Hershey's Zero and some of my Reese's Zero Sugar. And then I also have a Lily's. I like to make candies with this kind of stuff. So, and then I have a little bit of Lily's left because I make candies over Christmas season. And so that's what I like to use those for. Or in case I want a keto cookie, chocolate chip cookie, I will have that. I just keep those on hand just in case. You get that sweet tooth every now and then. So I'll put my crackers up there. And then I have some xanthan gum that I use every so often. And I will just stick that right there. This is my actual snacks to go container. So I need to actually clean this up, fill it up, get those nuts put together and put them in this. And then I can just grab the one out of here when I'm ready. We'll do that. I'll do that later. In this container, I have egg replacer, which I might be able to fit the xanthan gum in here too. Because these two I don't use very often. And I need to keep them fresh as possible, as long as possible. So I'll just stick those in there. I'll put it up here. I'm actually gonna put these down here. Then in here I have sugar-free coconut flakes. So I only use those every once in a while, like I said, when I bake. So I like to have this stuff on hand. And guess what? There's more nuts in here. So I have almonds in here. So I have plenty of nuts. Sometimes you feel like a nut. And then I'm just going to put my coconut flour, all my baking things. I'm actually thinking about switching. I'm gonna actually move all this down to that second. So let me do that so you don't have to watch me. Okay, I moved all those down there. And then the things that I use most often are gonna go on this shelf. That just makes more sense to me. As you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but this isn't very wide. It is deep, so it's a little bit hard to organize, especially when you have big containers like this. But I do the best I can. There's almond flour. Then I have a spare almond flour. I'll put that on that shelf. And then I have my keto sugar. And then I have my coconut flour. I do wish they were just a little bit wider. And then I have a little bit of Swerve brown sugar. I need to get more of this. So I need to add that to my list. And I also need some more Swerve confectioner sugar. I need to add that to my list. I will only pick those up when they are on sale. Otherwise, I do without. Okay, and then I have my everything but the bagel seasoning. And that I'm going to put on this shelf here. So I got all that organized. I have that I need the brown sugar and the confectioner sugar on my list. Like I said, if it's not on sale this week, I will not get it. It will keep going to the next week, the next week, and the next week until I do pick it up. And then I will mark it off my list. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And then I'll just put my crackers down there. All right, so that is all organized now. On this, I just keep these little packets. All these packets are good. I can't think of anything that we need. We have taco seasoning. We have all that stuff. So a lot of these things I probably should go through to make sure. These are probably, I'm sure those are no good. The yeast I know is good. My husband just bought that. This has not been opened. I am looking for a date. I don't see a date, so I guess it don't expire. And then some of this stuff just I bought before I decided to start keto last year. This is really hard, so I'm gonna get rid of that. There's more yeast. I think those are still good. These are from the Dollar Tree. I totally forgot those were in there. I'm gonna put these towards the front and I will use that. So go through your stuff, guys. You never know. We tend to forget things, so October 13th, 2025, Best Buy. So that should still be fine. It's not been opened. And then I think the rest of it's good. So there is that cabinet. All right, now we're in my island, and this cabinet is sketchy because this cabinet here and the one over here that we're gonna work on is always the most neglected, and things get forgotten in here. So I'm going to go ahead. This is what it looks like before. I'm going to go ahead and clean it out, and then I will show you an after photo, because I don't think you want to sit here and watch me clean it out. All right, got this cabinet cleaned out. Was able to throw a ton of stuff away, so that makes me feel good. Now we're going to move over to the other cabinet. Okay, this is our regular baking cabinet. So this is stuff that my husband would use to bake his kind of stuff, like the graham cracker crust, regular powdered sugar, all the stuff that I can't have. So I have him in here to... He was leaving, that's why I said it that way. to go through this and let me know what he wants to keep. So I will be back when we get this one cleaned up. Okay, here is the cabinet after. It took a minute to get this all straightened out. And we ended up landing on, we got sugars down here. We got 2 powdered sugars down there. We put all the light brown sugar in there. We have a thing of blueberry. We have a ton of cookie mixes that my husband has picked up. Like I said, this is his cabinet, his baking cabinet. So he's the one that gets into this most. And even then, that's not very often. So it was quite dirty. And we ended up putting all the cookie mixes in this because honestly, we have a mouse problem every once in a while, and they like to eat our food. So we are trying to find containers to help that. Trying to keep them out of this house. We are not feeding them for free, so we put all the cookie mixes in there, and that actually fits in there perfectly. And then we just have like little odds and ends up there. And then this is stuff I reach for because that's baking soda and baking powder and things like that. So that's stuff that I use also, so that I'm keeping that within hand's reach. And that's where we landed, from that big old mess down there to nice and neat and organized. So I hope this video helped you guys out to get you up and cleaning your kitchen. And I hope it gave you some motivation and maybe some ideas on how to organize. But you just do whatever works for your house. And this is what works for ours. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. And I make sure that you comment and like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.